What's going on? He's on this lane. Well, that happens sometimes. But on Fridays, I do go in to the office later, so this is my time where I've got some time to talk because I'm on the normal road just at a later time. So I hope everybody's doing well, rejoicing in the mercies of our sovereign God. I know usually we've always done these historical Friday things. It's kind of hard to do something historical when I'm trapped in this here vehicle, though. So, something was called to my attention yesterday, and I want to talk about it for a minute. Did you ever hear of a cat in Washington, D.C. named Mark Dever? He's a big shot now. Yes, sir. He's a big wheel in the Southern Baptist Convention. He is the pastor, I think it's called Capitol Heights or Capitol Hill Baptist Church there in D.C. And he's just obviously about the greatest thing since sliced bread to them folks. Claims to be reformed, claims to be all sorts of things. But he's having a conference. Yes, he is. Down in North Carolina, he's trying to have a conference at, I think it's Southeast Baptist Theological Seminary for a weekend with a bunch of other folks on exegetical preaching. And I'm sure he knows what that means, and I'm sure he'd be glad to tell us. But what I'm going to talk about is the fact that he put up a video, I think, day before yesterday, saying if y'all don't get in here and support us, we're going to have to cancel this conference. We only got half the people we need to make it work. In other words, we only got half the money we need. I'll bet you if everybody would double, everybody that's registered would double their fee, how much you want to bet it would go on? Well, that's neither here nor there for what we're talking about this morning. Well, he makes this video, and it's a plea for people to please come on and register. If you've thought about it, this is the time. Put your name down, get it on there so that you can be blessed by this and you can learn all about this exegetical preaching. Now, in the middle of that video, he said, but really it doesn't matter whether you do or not. I'm not going to be mad if I can't have it or sad. And here's what he said. Listen to, because this is not in the Bible. There was, oh yeah, he said, if you're not going to come, you don't want to go if this is not something biblical. But I'll bet you, yes, I'll take a bet on that. I'll bet you 85 to 95% of the people that listen to that go, that statement will go right over their head. Yes, I think it's that many. He's going to teach you how to preach. Y'all remember Merle Travis wrote that tune, that old song 16 Tons, uh, Dark as a Dungeon, Divorce Me COD, So Round, So Firm, So Fully Packed, all them old, a lot of them old songs. He did one time, had this, it's called That's All. He said, some people go to school to learn how to teach. Some people go to school to learn how to preach. If you have to go to school, if you, let's see, how you go now? How you sing it? Some people go to school to learn how to teach. Some people go to school to learn how to preach. If you can't preach without going to school, you ain't no preacher. You're an educated fool, and that's all. Old Merle out, whether he knew any gospel, but he spoke the truth there. The question I have to ask Mr. Dever and any other of his ilk, particularly the presenters at this conference, if it goes on, who taught the Apostle Paul how to preach? Did Ananias sit down and give him a series of lectures on exegetical preaching? What about Barnabas? Who'd Paul teach how to preach? Friends and brothers. I have no doubt that conferences like this are got up for no other reason than the aggrandizement of the people doing the presenting and the filthy lucre it'll bring in. Man, you get enough big names up there, it's like going to a concert. Would you pay $150 a seat to go hear me play and sing? Nah, nobody'd pay that much to hear me. But if it was me and Marty Stewart, Ricky Skaggs, Alan Jackson, well, there's some people that pay $150 a seat to go see all them. The fact that I would be there just doesn't matter. That's just one more they can ignore till the big boys get on there. See what I'm saying? Actually, everybody I first thought of in country music was dead except Willie Nelson. Yeah, I'd pay $150 to hear Merle Haggard, but I don't expect to. I don't expect anybody will. But anyway, the same way, it's the same way with these. You get the big names in there with the big hit books and seminars that serve the right churches with the big congregations that spellbind their audiences with their eloquence. Give me a break. Nobody wants to hear the old country preacher that Brother Lloyd Wall used to say, who's only got his mother's tongue. Not eloquent as far as what the world calls eloquence. Never learned rhetoric. Maybe didn't even graduate high school. certainly didn't go to college. But it's one who has been taught of God, who understands not the fine niceties of language, but rather who has been taught by the Spirit, who has been given something to say and must say it. Give me that man any day over the ones that have been to school, the ones who have been to seminary. That man knows Christ is the power of God and the wisdom of God because he realizes his own strength and his own ignorance. Oh, he knows that he could get up there and he could read out of the Bible and he could say words all day long, but that ain't preaching. I saw something today online. 50 rules for preaching. 30 maybe. I can't remember what it's 30. It might have been 30. 50 is a little too much because there's two columns on a piece of paper. 30 rules. I'm talking about preparation. Think about it just a minute. The preparation of the heart and the answer of the tongue are from the Lord. You're going to get yourself prepared to preach. How you going to do it? Man, I'm going to read that Bible. I'm going to study it. I'm going to gonna gonna find out what every little nuance means in that text. I'm gonna write it all down. I'm gonna type it up. I'm gonna put it in my tablet. And you know what? I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna have it all laid out where all I have to do is just bring it forth. Yes, bring it forth. Mm-mm-mm. Think about that. Somebody else says, well, I'll tell you how I'm going to prepare. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to pray. What are you going to pray? Lord, give me the words to say that these people need to hear. That's a simple prayer, but it's one that carries with it the desire, I believe, of everyone who proclaims the good news to people. He knows he can't go in there and it's like manna. What happened when if you tried to store up a pot of that manna and you went out there and you knew a pint jar is all you could eat, so you got you a quart jar and filled it up? What happened to that was left over? That you thought, man, just in case I might need this. It bred worms and stank. In other words, it wasn't fit to eat. That's God's ministers trying to store up. Man, I'll tell you what, I got me a text. Man, I see things in it. What? Are you going to preach on it Sunday? No, I'm going to this little old church over here Sunday. Only got about 6 people that go there if everybody shows up. No, I'm saving that text for the association where there's people that could hear it. Uh, you know, that's the attitude of some. It'll breed worms and stink. That's what you thought was wonderful is going to be corrupted. You ever hear of Primitive Baptists having preachers' meetings? Years ago, there was a group that I knew of that did. Yes, preachers' meetings. They'd have big ones and they'd have little ones. By little ones, I mean more regional. Huh, struck me at the time. Y'all think you need to confab with each other to figure out what's going on? You're a part of an assembly of Christ. You're a part of a congregation of God. As you meet together with them, isn't that enough? Rather than get 20 preachers around the table and discuss what doctrines you need to contend for. Decide what needs to be preached among you. Well, you need to have some protracted meetings. You ain't gonna call them revivals, but most of your techniques in them you learn from the missionary Baptists, so you might as well call them what they are. How lucky you're cynical. Yes, sir, I am. I am about things like that. Well, I probably said enough. Probably said too much as far as some things go on. No, I'll tell you what. I think God's children understand. I think they rejoice. Some people used to say we gloried in our ignorance. Well, no, we don't glory in our ignorance. We don't flaunt our learning because we know that the wisdom which the Gentiles seek after has nothing to do with the wisdom of Christ. We must be taught from above. We must have that wisdom that comes from above, not the one that comes from beneath. Read that in James. Everybody wants to read in James, and all they want to quote is faith without works is dead. All right, that's what it says. Read that. The wisdom that comes from above and the wisdom which comes from beneath. Think about it. So, I'm going to get off here now. We don't have to run around town and make these deliveries. Oh, good. Excuse me. If you got a meeting to go to this weekend, I certainly hope it's a good one. Hope the Lord blesses you with His presence, knowing that you don't need a certain number to have a meeting, that nobody needs to teach you what to say, because it's given to you if you're Christ. So I will say farewell. Lord willing, we'll see you Monday, if not before. We don't know what's going on. I don't. So I hope the Lord will richly bless you and care for you. That's my prayer. We'll see you later.